School is systematically broken. It is not something that you can fix by implementing new strategies here. It's not something that you can change by incorporating more resources there. It is broken by design. It was built this way. If you don't believe me, let me tell you a story about this fitness channel that I saw, that I witnessed, that I myself believe. So here's a doctor. He's giving advice. And it would seem pretty legit advice because he had all these fancy words. He had all these fancy studies. He had every legitimate reason to be that authoritative figure in that field. And yet, when they dug deep, and yet, when they started reviewing these studies, when they started reviewing his philosophy of coaching, because it was a fitness channel, it turned out to be all kind of misconstrued, all kind of having an agenda to it. And that's when you realized academia did this, and academia always does this. They push this agenda, they repeat it with their students over and over again until they become the authoritative figure, and that authoritative figure repeats the same agenda that has been given to him. Nothing but a echo chamber of points that validate the authoritative figure. And so they went and they studied this guy's PhD, and it turns out his PhD, complete garbage. And once again, academia did it because academia didn't care about his PhD. Academia didn't care that he didn't know how to find a research. He didn't know how to run a study. All academia cared about was that he showed up, he paid his money, he kept repeating the same process over and over again. Once he did that for 18 years, 20 years, his PhD, he got his qualification and he repeated the same thing that his mentors repeated. And once again, all of these studies, all of these things that his mentors repeated, all of these things that he himself regurgitated, they were all nonsense. And we have it again with, so that all was objective, all of that was true, but yet let's take a layer back, let's peel back, and let's look at all these other major fields of studies. Think of the pharmacy side of it, right? Academia pushes this notion of medication. Academia pushes the notion of painkillers. Academia pushes the notion of if you have physical pain, you need this certain medication. All of that is an agenda for the people to push more medication. And once again, all of this part of the video, all of it's subjective, but yet you can see where exercise, diet is a better catalyst for recovery than any of these medications ever would be. And yet we don't see that because that does not produce money. That is not where the bucks are. We see all this regurgitation of nonsense to push an agenda of what the people want. And that's what academia is. It should hit you like a truck. This is what the school system wants you to do. They want you to get information that's borrowed from somebody else that has an agenda to it, and then they want you to repeat that information over and over again so that more people can accept it. And I've talked about this in exercise science. I talked about this in medication, pharmacology. But think about it in food too, agriculture, right? Everybody's saying how soy was the best source for protein. Since when? Look at it. And yet that is the major study today. What's that? Fake artificial meat, that was the future. That was the better than actual meat. Since when? Look at the studies, actually critical think to it. And yet this is what they're pushing. This is what academia is pushing. It is not only allowed, it is incentivized to follow this path so that they can push more of this notion that is just what the tops want you to believe. Again, this video, a lot of it is subjective, believe me or not, but there's a lot of evidence to it. I stated 5 off the top of my head, and I'm not a PhD, I'm not a master's. Believe whoever the fuck you want to believe. I know what I want. I know what's best for me. I know that this is not critical thinking. This is pushing an agenda over and over again until people believe it. Just like they did with fake meat, just like they did with exercise science, just like they did with medication painkillers. just like they did with all these disabilities that are made up, things like behavior disability, things like ADHD, which again, caveat, ADHD could be a thing, but yet it's pushed. ADHD is a real thing. However, it's pushed more because we don't want to say that this kid would just benefit with more structure, more discipline, more rigorous. It is more of a fluctuating line that anybody can qualify to.